Deep in the heart of Hubei province sits the largest power station in the world. A wall of 28 million cubic meters of concrete holding back the weight of the Yangtze River. To Beijing, the Three Gorges Dam is a monument of national pride. But to the military planners in Taipei, it's something else entirely. For decades, the world has asked, how could a tiny island like Taiwan survive an invasion by the world's largest military? Most experts talk about the porcupine strategy, making the island too prickly to swallow. But there is a darker, far more controversial contingency. A strategy so devastating it's been called a conventional nuke. Before a single Chinese boot touches a Taiwanese beach, Taipei has a choice. A choice that could kill millions, cripple the world's second-largest economy, and change the face of human history forever. Today, we're looking at the ultimate deterrent. Why Taiwan might blow up the Three Gorges Dam. And if they even can? To understand the gravity of this threat, you have to understand the Yangtze. This river is China's beating heart. If the Yangtze Basin were its own country, it would be the third largest economy in the world. Over 400 million people live downstream of this dam. That's more than the entire population of the United States. It generates 10% of China's hydropower and stabilizes the shipping lanes that fuel their global manufacturing. But it's also a water bomb. If the Three Gorges Dam were to fail, a wall of water hundreds of feet high would roar down the valley at nearly 100 kilometers per hour. Wuhan? Gone in hours. Nanjing? Submerged. Shanghai. The world's busiest port would be under meters of silt and debris. Talking about the displacement of 25% of China's population and the immediate destruction of its industrial base. In military terms, this is what's known as a counter-value strike. You aren't hitting their army. You're hitting the very fabric of their civilization. But here's the problem. You don't just blow up a gravity dam. This isn't a Hollywood movie. The Three Gorges is built to withstand a small nuclear blast. So does Taiwan have the sling to kill this Goliath? Meet the Shengfeng EA HF-2E. This is Taiwan's Tomahawk. It's a land attack cruise missile with a range of over 1,200 kilometers, easily enough to reach Hubei from the island's mountain silos. But one missile won't do it. China knows this. They've surrounded the dam with the world's most dense air defense network, S-400s, HQ-9 South, and constant fighter patrols. To actually breach the dam, Taiwan would need a saturation strike, hundreds of missiles hitting the exact same structural weak points simultaneously. Or they use something more subtle. In 2026, the real threat isn't just a missile. It's special forces and cyber warfare. A precision strike on the sluice gates or a state-sponsored hack on the dam's internal pressure sensors could cause a controlled disaster that becomes uncontrollable. If Taipei pushes the button, there is no going back. This is the definition of total war. If 100 million Chinese civilians are killed by a flood triggered by Taiwan, the international community and Taiwan's allies would be horrified. The democratic shield that protect Taiwan's reputation would vanish instantly, but more importantly, the dragon's response. China maintains a no-first-use nuclear policy. However, their doctrine has a caveat. If the survival of the state is at risk, all bets are off. Flooding the Yangtze Valley is an existential threat. If Taiwan hits the dam, Beijing doesn't just send more ships. They likely send a nuclear warhead to Taipei. This is why many call it a suicide strategy. So if it's suicide, why do they talk about it? Because of deterrence theory. The goal isn't to actually blow up the dam. The goal is to make the cost of invasion so high that the CCP decides it's not worth it. By keeping the Three Gorges option on the table, Taiwan tells Beijing, if you try to end our way of life, we will end yours. It's a 21st century version of Mad Mutually, assured destruction between a giant and a porcupine. As 2026 unfolds, the tension in the strait is higher than ever. New missile batteries are being built and new red lines are being drawn. The Three Gorges Dam remains a symbol of power, but it's also a reminder of how fragile peace really is. In the game of war, the most powerful weapon isn't the one you fire. It's the one you make your enemy fear you'll fire. But the question remains, if the invasion begins and the beaches are lost, Would Taipei actually pull the trigger? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to see how Taiwan's new strong-bow missile system stacks up against China SS-400s, click the video on your screen right now. Thanks for watching.